leadership, South Africa is in a leadership vacuum. That's according to former President Thabo Mbeki.
Former President Thabo Mbeki.
Former President Thabo Mbeki has questioned why Eskom challenges have taken nearly 2 decades to resolve from the time Kusile and Medupi power plants were built.
Former President Thabo Mbeki also reacted to the EFF's much-anticipated national shutdown on Monday. He was speaking to SABC News on the sidelines of an event in Pretoria.
I think the EFF and everybody else who's joined that are perfectly entitled to that, to demonstrate and so on. But I think the point that has been made, that we should avoid all violence and things like that. And I watched a little bit when Julius talked about the demonstrations yesterday, and himself made this commitment that they don't want violence. All of these terrible things happening as a result of misgovernance. The ANC was the government. So it has got to take responsibility, look at itself, and see what it does, what went wrong with it, the ANC, that this kind of thing could happen. So it has to do something about itself, and it's got to do something to really to try and redress this great wrong.
You've got some people now talking about white monopoly capital. What is that? You see, first of all, it's an abuse of a phrase, of a term, a concept, which was used in scientific economic literature, which talked about monopoly capital. And monopoly capital in this sense, that you have, this is in all of the economics books, you said the beginning of the capitalist system, you have many firms, many factories, many small capitalists. There is not any one of them who is so big as to influence what happens on the market. So you have a market system, a capitalist market system, which is non-monopoly. But the economic textbooks will also tell you that it's in the nature of capital to swallow others. So inevitably, a capitalist system is going to result in concentration and centralization of capital. So out of the 1,000 firms in this sector, ultimately we are going to end up with 6. That is what is then called monopoly capital. In order to contrast it with this non-monopoly stage, when there is no firm big enough to influence the market. Now you've got half a dozen, which are big enough to influence what happens on the market. That's what they call monopoly capital. Not monopoly in the sense of the existence of only one company, which is what monopoly means, the word. But I'm saying, that in the economic literature, the monopoly capitalism is understood as a stage where you've got fewer numbers of firms, so big that they may be 6 or 8 or 10, whatever, so big that they can influence the market. That's what is described as monopoly capital. That somebody here, somewhere, adds the word white. And then they quote these famous names that you've heard as exemplars of this white monopoly capital, the Oppenheimer, the Roberts. Don't imagine that the South African capital market in 2017 is the same as it was in 1994. It isn't. It's changed.
And this is unique to South Africa.
It's global.
Change is a process.
It's changed. So when somebody comes to you say the principal enemy of the National Democratic Revolution is white monopoly. Wait. You should say wait. I know the role of monopoly. Let's discuss that. Even as it would relate to South Africa, white monopoly capital is the enemy of the National Democratic Revolution. You are then suggesting to me that I must take action against this enemy. In other words, what's the point of pointing out an enemy? Who is this enemy? You are obliged to say Johan Rupert. I don't know what you want to do with Johan. Trash it.
You go to Stellenbosch, it's not him alone. You go and gather them, all of them around those mountains and kill them.
So this is what I'm saying with the 52-year-old. Therefore, let's understand properly what is happening to the South African capitalist economy, so that we can then intervene to do the right thing. Because if we misdiagnose the problem, the cure is going to be wrong.
President Ramaphosa has said, let's allow the law to take its course, and I sympathize with him. So that indeed, I hope that the scope, the Hawks, now as they say they are investigating and all that, will move on the matter speedily, because I'm quite certain from what I can see, the country is asking for many explanations about many things. And I'm quite sure that legal process will help us to provide these answers. And that's so I'm saying that I really do sympathize with the position he took to say that let the truth come out via this particular route, through these credible institutions of state. And I know for a fact that many people are posing questions, and really I'm hoping that the Hawks, as I was saying, would move with some speed to make sure that those sorts of questions are answered. The report, in the recent report issued by Palapal, not issued, the public protector, as I understand it, has not issued a report on the matter of Palapala, but posed some questions to people involved, first of all, in complaining about the matter, like the DA and the AT and the ATM, and has said to them, in terms of our investigation, whatever, what is your view? It's not a final report. It's an interim report. So these others have said we will then respond to the request of the public protector to make an input about our own views. It's only after that that the public protector will produce a final report. That's how I understand it. Made for public protector has meant no determination. So the report that the public protector has cleared President Ramaphosa is incorrect. They are in the process of working on the matter, and have said that when they receive these inputs from others, then they will prepare their final report. That is how, as I understand the matter. And indeed, that communication of theirs to the parties concerned, it leaked. It was not a public release, because they were not making any proposal to the public to engage the matter. That's the public protector. They were communicating to the people concerned. So I hope that we will We'll continue to treat it like that, that there's no determination that's been made by the public protector on the matter. And indeed, obviously, the question that our colleague raised about grey listing, he referred to Palapal. And that is correct, the reference. Because the story was that there's a Sudanese businessman who lives in Dubai, who came to South Africa carrying loads and lots of cash in dollars, bought buffaloes. And I'm sure all of us have heard this, that the Commissioner of Taxes, Mr. Kisbetter, have said there is no record of such monies being declared at OR Tambo Airport. So that record doesn't exist. It's not been found. But there's no assumption to a thing that it exists but has not been found. So it hasn't been found. And therefore the suspicion arises naturally. Is this not part of money laundering? It arises naturally.
Can I answer this question? In a way I want to answer. Yes. You know, according to the ANC Constitution, the president of the ANC must present a political report at this elected conference, when it's actually at all the other conferences. So we go to Polokwane in 2007. And I prepared the political report and presented it. And for the first time, it's not discussed. So naturally, some of the delegations there in the conference, they say, no, but when are we going to discuss the political report? Because a report to conference, which conference must discuss and criticize and whatever. No, it will not be discussed. And wasn't discussed. I understood why. Because you must have seen given the report, what is called the diagnostic report by the current Secretary General of the ANC, which is submitted now at the policy conference. We raised those issues in the political report in '97.
Careful, somebody might suggest that you wrote.
No, we raise these things and say, here are the problems that are facing the ANC, including an issue which Gwede doesn't raise, which is the habit of telling lies. Into the practices of the ANC, something is very, very foreign to the ANC, the use of lies to achieve particular objectives. The Juju is here. You can tell you about why that report was not discussed. So I'm raising these things and saying, you know, in the end I say, actually one of the things I say is that in 2012, we are going to be celebrating the centenary of the ANC. We must be very careful that we are not the only people, as members of the ANC, who celebrate that centenary, and the rest of the country stays away because of our misbehavior. It's in that report, 2007. they didn't want to discuss it because a lot, Juju will repeat this after me. A lot of what happened at that conference in December, in 2007, was based on lies. Lies were told to Juju here by people whom Juju had no reason to disbelieve. So quite correctly, he believed them.
It was much younger.
It was much younger and acted accordingly. He discovers much later that he was lying to.
Fellow South Africans, I have no doubt that you are aware of the announcement made yesterday by the National Executive Committee of the ANC with regard to the position of the President of the Republic. Accordingly, I would like to take this opportunity to inform the nation that today I handed a letter to the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Honorable Baleka Mbete, to tender my resignation from the high position of President of the Republic of South Africa, effective from the day that will be determined by the National Assembly. I have been a loyal member of the African National Congress for 52 years. I remain a member of the ANC and therefore respect its decisions. It is for this reason that I have taken the decision to resign as President of the Republic, following the decision of the National Executive Committee of the ANC. I would like sincerely to thank the nation and the ANC for having given me the opportunity to serve in public office during the last 14 years as the Deputy President and President of South Africa. This service has at all times been based on the vision, the principles and values that have guided the ANC as it prosecuted a difficult and dangerous struggle in the decades before the attainment of our freedom in 1994. Among other things, the vision, principles and values of the ANC teach the cadres of this movement lifelong lessons that inform us that wherever we are and whatever we do, we should ensure that our actions contribute to the attainment of a free and just society, the upliftment of all our people, and the development of a South Africa that belongs to all who live in it.